Greetings ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the guide for Mary. In this guide I'll be covering the basics to Mary, her energy mechanic, her two modes, her interaction with traps, and how to percept her. After that I'll try to give some tips on communication and survival when playing against her, and lastly some tips on playing as Mary. Mary has an appearance of a young dead girl in white clothes. She has two modes and an additional energy mechanic. Mary's energy is only visible to herself. It is described as a semi-transparent grey oval on the screen, which shrinks depending on how much energy Mary has. When the oval is completely gone, she is at full energy. In the first mode, the calm mode, she is moving extremely slow and is mostly harmless to the survivors. In this mode she is gathering energy at a constant rate, and it takes her whole 200 seconds or 3 minutes and 20 seconds to fully charge herself naturally, without absorbing any energy from the survivors. Mary gains additional energy when she is very close to the survivors, or if they shine on Mary with their flashlights within a certain distance, so avoid doing that. Also in this mode, Mary is able to teleport to random locations on the map. She does that automatically after a certain amount of seconds have passed, approximately about 50 to 100, but that might change depending on the map. She can also do that manually by pressing the right mouse button. That however expends some of her energy. Once she has enough energy, by pressing the E button she may enter into the rage mode for 7 seconds, where she moves extremely fast and is able to kill survivors by pressing left mouse button. After the rage mode ends, she will be teleported to a random location and will start gathering energy from zero. In both modes, Mary is able to interact with doors the same way the survivors do. When playing versus Mary, traps only go off if both a survivor and Mary herself are near the trap. There is a certain area of effect radius that applies to that, so if a trap goes off to your left, that doesn't necessarily mean that Mary is also to your left. That just means she's somewhere near you. If she's around and you listen in very closely, you can hear her quite sobbing. The range on that is fairly decent, so if you listen really closely you can hear her like 2 rooms away from you. Lastly, if you get Mary into your camera viewport, either directly or through some hole in the wall, a dreadful music starts playing. That basically signifies you just saw her and you're in trouble. Also, if the music starts playing, you can be sure she got a portion of energy from you.
If you see your flashlight suddenly losing light at an incredible speed, don't waste much time, start running. This happens exactly when a player is standing too close to Mary.
If you see Mary, get to safety and then tell your teammates where she was. Especially against Mary, that helps a lot. If you have nothing else to do on the map, you have no keys and you can't do much, try tracking Mary down. Lock yourself up in a room where you can see her and monitor her actions. And as soon as she teleports away, make sure to tell that to your teammates. Against Mary, you wanna have your doors half closed. The difference of half closed doors to half open ones, you cannot walk through the crack. It is very important to do that when dealing with Mary, because oftentimes, if she was in the hallway in front of you, then teleported away, you start walking into the area she was just in and leave all the doors wide open, you're likely to hear a distant hysterical screech, signature to Mary going into rage mode, and then have her run you over from behind, coming from the hallway you were just in. Surviving against Mary is pretty straightforward. Listen to the sobbing, listen to the traps. If she catches you in a wide open area in her rage mode, do not stand still and just let her kill you. Start running in weird, arbitrary circles instead. It is decently difficult to hit people who run arbitrarily around while in rage mode, so you are likely to survive. Otherwise, try to get to the nearest half-closed door, tap it lightly so you can slide through the crack and try to close the door behind you. Chances for that are low, since Mary is extremely fast, but it sometimes works out. If you're moving through areas, for example like through Bodum Hotel, you are headed for the laundry exit. Try to keep a room of distance between your teammates. Let the guy with the exit keys go ahead and you stay further behind, hiding behind some door, so that if Mary randomly teleports on top of you and starts raging, that you will still have a chance to survive. You profit a lot of players not knowing exactly where you are. So if you know they're just coming out of the toilets where you saw them last time, try standing behind a corner and surprise them. Other obscure locations are always great, where players rarely look. Mary's dread music doesn't start playing until a player legitimately gets Mary into his camera, so oftentimes you can charge yourself up by just standing behind some obscure shelf. Do not spam your teleports. Use it only if you're in a closed off room where you can proceed, or you know where the survivors need to go to and try to get back in that area to block them off. Teleport only when it is really needed. When in rage mode, if you're having trouble hitting players who are running in random circles, instead of running head straight on full speed, try tapping your movement button slightly to position yourself properly. Oftentimes the survivor will either run into you or you'll just be able to run into him directly and hit him. Mary's range on her attacks is really small, so you really need to hug your prey before you kill it. Thank you for watching. Please leave your comments and feedbacks in the comment section below.